Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. It's always a pleasure to get up and talk a little bit about the work going on in Communication and Member Services Department. And a little later this morning, you're going to hear Aaron Oligood talk about the amazing tenure at Aaron. So in CMSD, we're a team of 12, and we have a really healthy mix of fresh perspectives and seasoned experience. So with that in mind, I do want to assure you that we are all really young at heart. We are full of energy, love creative ideas, love to take on new tasks. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the team members and what they do, starting from top left. Jennifer Bly, who handles public relations for Aaron, and she's also leading up the IPv6 campaign and the IPv6 case studies in particular. She's here to help you formulate your thoughts and do a lot of the groundwork for you and get them published. In the middle, Jason Byrne, who handles website support, content. Jason handles a lot of special projects for us. One of the ones he finished last year was the vault, moving all of Aaron historical information off the main site into the vault. He recently published a new site search on www.aaron.net, one too many W's, and he's involved with the website redesign project. Far right, Carrie Carmichael is our technical writer, and she's involved, a liaison with engineering, helping to get the words improved in Aaron Online and other special projects. Bottom, with her pet there, Melissa Goodwin, our meeting planner. Melissa was responsible for the social Monday night. She also is our liaison with printer and helps order Aaron's swag and materials. In the middle is our policy analyst, Sean Hopkins, who facilitates the process and provides AC Advisory Council support. And the bottom right, Wendy Leedy, our membership engagement coordinator, who also handles the fellowship program and facilitates our election process. Moving on, we have Hollis Kara, top left, communications team manager and special projects. And Hollis is handling the project management on the communication side for the website redesign project. Next to her, and you probably don't want to have a meal with Kim Kelly, our writer. Some of her special projects are the quarterly Aaron Bits Digest, the annual report, and she does a lot of work on web and print content. Next to her, Mary Ryan, meeting planner and execution, and Mary was responsible for the logistics of this meeting. She's in the back of the room, so thank you, Mary. And she also handles our arrangements with exhibits. Bottom left, Aaron Shearer, our social media coordinator and Team Aaron content creator. In the middle is Lauren Sisk. She's our part-time graphic designer, and she's the only member of the team not with us in Miami, so a shout out to Lauren if you're watching. And then me, far right, and I'm responsible for communication strategy and overall department oversight. Okay, so the first quarter of this year, we have been very busy. We have published the first quarter Aaron Bits. That's a digest of activities, and we have some tips from various customer-facing departments from time to help you with your interactions with Aaron. We've had 12 blog posts on the Team Aaron site. These are in addition to the IPv6 case studies. We've had a fellowship process that's run its course and welcomed 12 fellows here. Wendy's been busy with that and finding mentors, etc. We communicated about the February engineering deployment. We've held 2 Aaron on the Roads in January, and we have 4 more scheduled, 2 in early May in Minneapolis and London, Ontario. So thanks, David, for getting the snow out of the way before we got there. And then in June, we will be in St. Louis and Atlanta. We designed and opened tree testing for the website navigation, and there's still time to do that, if you like. Provided advisory council support. Jason implemented the new site search, and we've planned and have almost executed Aaron 41. So it's busy, and then with the day-to-day communications we take care of. So coming soon, some new activities. The first one coming soon will happen at the end of the meeting today. We are fulfilling suggestion 2017-19, asking for a raw transcript to be available. So as soon as our lovely folks over there can get today's transcript in a raw format, we will publish a raw format of all 3 days. We will leave it up on the website until we publish our meeting report, where we don't edit the transcript, but we at least will have verified and checked for names and things like that. So you'll have something to look at in the interim. For elections this fall, based on somebody's suggestion from the community, we are adding a confirmation screen as you go through the process. So once you cast your ballots, you'll have a screen that shows you, before you hit confirm, who you voted for. We also are fulfilling suggestion 2018-1. We're going to provide a Bitbucket interface to the Number Resource Policy Manual for ease of tracking changes. Thank you, Owen, for that suggestion. We're hoping to get that out Q3. And then the biggest and most exciting is the website redesign. We're working with engineering, who's responsible for the design and interface, to provide you a responsive website. Once we, as a team, have the templates finalized, and once CMSD has done the heavy lifting, because we have to migrate all of the content from one site, then we will also then begin looking systematically at the content for revision and all. We can't do it all at once, so we have a lot of work ahead of us, but look forward, as much as you all do, to a newly designed website. And I'm not sure why that's still on there, but V6 deployment outreach, I talked about that already. Still time to add your tips. And membership. So talked to quite a few of you at lunch and breakfast about membership and what ARIN membership is. Membership is automatic for all organizations that receive a direct allocation of IP address from ARIN. For organizations that receive a direct assignment, membership is optional and available. So looking today at our statistics, we have a little over 5,700 members, but ARIN serves thousands more organizations. And this is just a breakdown, geographic breakdown of where these members are. Key dates for the elections. There'll be a call for nominations in beginning of July that will last the month of July. August 20th, the deadline to make sure your organization has a voting contact on record, and you will be receiving communication from Wendy about that. September 3rd, we'll announce the initial slate of candidates produced from the nomination committee. September 24th, final slate, and then voting will open online in October, and it always opens in conjunction with our third quarter public policy and members meeting. So if you have any questions about the elections leading up to it, please reach out to us at members@arin.net. And also, just a reminder that there's multiple ways for you to engage with us, and we're always welcoming and seeking new voices, new opinions in. So these are some of the ways. When you go back to your communities, we would welcome your help in talking about the fellowship program. If you know of somebody in your area who you think would benefit from being involved in ARIN and they need help getting to an ARIN meeting, please let them know about the fellowship program. And I believe the fellowship program is now or will shortly be open for Vancouver in the fall. I also wanted to put out a call for meeting network sponsors. So every spring in April, ARIN holds a standalone meeting. At this meeting, and how we determine where we go is from help from the community. We are always looking for an organization to be a network sponsor to provide bandwidth and to help set up the network. So this is a general call. If you're interested in helping Aaron in this manner and you're interested in bringing a meeting to your location, please reach out to us in the future, whenever. So we are looking for sponsors going forward for all of our spring meetings. Again, these are just a list of the coming outreach programs, and we will be in Vancouver next October with NANOG. Look forward to seeing you all there. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Microphones are open. Yes, front center microphone.
Owen DeLong. It has always, for a very long time, been the fact that membership is an optional thing for end users who pay fees. And as I understand it, the one and only thing you get from membership that you don't get without it as a resource holder that doesn't have membership is the ability to vote in Aaron elections.
Significantly, much of what would normally be in a membership organization restricted to the members, we have actually provided to the entire Aaron community. The one thing we have not is the ability to vote.
Why, so making that optional for end user resource holders is tantamount to a poll tax. Why preserve the poll tax and why not extend membership to all of those organizations?
So you actually want to have people consciously be a member and be involved. If we suddenly told 15,000 organizations, you're a member today, it's unclear whether or not any of them would actually participate. Now, for those who want to be a member, we actually now, for many of those organizations, it's probably low or no cost. They switch to a registration services plan and they get membership as part of that. So it's available for these organizations that want it, and it's likely to be a reduction in fees in some cases. So I don't really see the poll tax.
Well, I'm sorry that you don't see it, but it's there. It has been there for a long time. There are other penalties one must incur if one wants to switch, in many cases, from the current end user situation to the registration services plan, besides just the change up or down of your fees, in many cases up and in some cases down. Mm-hmm. So the only way that an end user can be a member is if they pay an additional $500 per year, regardless of how much they are paying for their end user maintenance fees every year, whether it's, $100, $500, $1,000, they're still subject to having to pay an additional $500 if they want membership without going to a registration services plan.
Right. Now, in most membership organizations, the discussion of fees, this member meeting here, many things, the consultations we do, would be restricted to members. Okay? We've provided those to non-members, and so it makes it look like the last item is voting and it's a poll tax. Now, you're basically saying that appearance is bad. We could restrict this meeting, we could restrict the participation in things like consultations to strictly Aaron members. And then paying the fee would give you access to a voice similar to what the members have. Please do not cause us to disenfranchise everyone in order to make a bigger distinction between members and non-members.
Well, alternatively, you could, even if you do it on an opt-in basis so that the end user has to take an action of going to their Aaron Online account and saying, yes, I want to be a member, offer that to the end users without the poll tax.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to comment on this point?
I understand, but I think the other thing to point out is that we've been trying to encourage as many organizations to move to the registration services plan. That has actually, and we do see that as one encouragement to it. I know that you disagree, and we've spoken about your specific issues on why you don't want to, but we've tried to do everything in our power to create, especially lowering the fees to the lowest level so that it, in most cases, saves you money and you get the membership entitlement.
Oh, remote? No? Okay. Anyone else like to speak on this topic?
There is a remote.
Yes, on the back microphone.
Kevin Bloomberg, The Wire. We've had significant discussions about membership fees over the years. My understanding was the give on having the membership, the services plan, was that reassignments would be a part of it, voting would be a part of it, all the new services would be a part of it. The historical things that were given to end users, where the end users weren't really paying any more, would now be a part of membership services moving forward, the services plan moving forward. I am unhappy about the concept of the old end users concept being equated to just voting, when the reality is that the service providers have been paying the brunt because of the services that were given to them for all these years. If there's no difference and everybody can have everything, great, make the price the same. But that's not what we do today. We give a huge incentive break to the end user, old end users, and then really what they should be doing is everybody should move to the member services plan. That's my understanding from all of the things that have gone on over the years. So I would like to, I'm actually happy with that. I don't know what the numbers are anymore. This keeps coming up, the disenfranchised users, how many number of LRSAs who can't be a part of, or don't want to be a part of the member services plan are we talking about here? Is this 10%?
So presently, in terms of numbers, we have 5,700 approximate members. We have end users, 14,000. There is in addition to the end users, there's 500 LRSA holders. And then there's another 14,000 legacy holders who have no agreement with Aaron. So you've got 500 legacy holders who are the only constituency of end users on a different agreement. We are not going to, we've had the discussion at the board level for many years. We are unlikely to afford the benefits of membership to people on different agreements. So yes, you would need to leave your LRSA and move to an RSA to become an Aaron member. There are people who object to that, and the objection in that aspect is something that is a understandable disagreement in views on this. If someone is going to be a member and participate in membership and help set the fees and the terms, they should be on equal ground with every other member. So in particular, Owen notes that LRSA holders would be moving to a regular RSA and would end up getting a registration services plan, would end up giving up something. In many cases, their fees are different and lower. Some cases, they're different and higher. Because one fee schedule is per object and one fee schedule is based on total holdings, there is a difference. But right now, for the smallest organizations, the fee schedules are very comparable. If you're holding a /24 or several 24s, the transition between end user and registration service plan member is very small in general. If you're holding a /16 as a legacy holder, it's going to be a very different matter because we've charged more to people, ISPs, who have a /16. But if you're holding a few resource blocks, the real change is, as Owen notes, that you're moving to a regular registration services agreement. And if you're not willing to do that, it's not clear that we'll ever facilitate you being an equal member with everyone else.
So to clarify, 30,000 orgs, give or take, under contract, not under contract, whatever.
Correct.
500 orgs that are under LRSA.
Right.
Of those 500, many of them could have V6 under RSA where they could be a member service.
Sure.
Okay. Have other orgs en masse out of the 500 brought this up as an issue?
Not really. We haven't had a lot of adoption, though, of parties that become members, end users who become paid members. There's 60 of them. Of the 5,740 members, 60 of them are parties that would be end users and have opted to switch and pay a registration services plan, or are paying the $500 fee, one or the other.
Thank you.
Just
Would
as
you like to
a,
respond? Yes?
yeah, I'd like to respond. As a point of clarification, your small increase for a holder of a /24 is a 150% annual increase in fees.
Yes, it might be as a percentage quite big. $5 is 500% increase over one, but it's still a $4 change. Thank you. We have a
Actually,
remote participant? Who's, I'm sorry,
And we've got four microphones.
remote.
Owen is still gone.
Go ahead.
Several remote participants, one on this subject, to which I'll do now and leave the others for later. Timothy Morizot, IRS, is an LRSA holder for our IPv4 allocations. I want to point out that if you also hold IPv6 under an RSA agreement, you get membership under that agreement.
Right.
Of course, the way we justified our allocation way back when in ancient history wasn't as an end user.
Yep, excellent point.
And then I'll
Farm
have a
microphone?
comment.
You have others, understood, I'll come back. On this topic?
Not on this topic.
Okay, stand by.
I'm happy to wait my turn.
Okay, stand by on that.
I have a comment on this topic.
Sure, go ahead.
John Springer, speaking on my own behalf, but in this context, a member of the Aaron Advisory Council.
Yep.
The lack of voting rights is not the only distinction here. There's also a distinction in which non-members are allowed to be members of the Advisory Council, but are not allowed to participate in subcommittees.
There is true that there's a number of governance committees of Aaron, committees of the board, which specify you must be a member of good standing in order to be appointed to that committee. So there are cases where you do have to be associated with an Aaron member in order to facilitate a committee role. Good point. Anything else on this topic? Owen, would you like to final remark on this topic?
I don't have anything more on this
Okay.
topic, but
Okay.
I do have another topic.
Anyone else on that? Okay. Owen, your second topic.
I notice you had IPv6 listed as preferred for network sponsors and not listed as required. Are we having that much difficulty finding IPv6 capable network sponsors?
I would defer maybe to Mark. I don't think that it's been an issue, and we've had this same requirement for a while, so I think it depends on locations. Perhaps in the Caribbean, it's been more of a challenge.
Much like Aaron's own philosophy on IPv6, we encourage strongly IPv6 support, but we're not going to disadvantage our mission because of it. So, for example, the third-party services that we use, such as webcasting and registration tools and polling tools, we tell those vendors we expect IPv6. We emphasize that every meeting with them. And in some cases, we resolicit for other vendors if we know there's one out there that'll support it. But we won't not do a member poll or not do an election because we can't find a vendor that supports V6. Similarly, for meeting sites, particularly in the Caribbean, there's times when there's infrastructure challenges. It's our strong preference that all the vendors support IPv6, but we wouldn't curtail meeting in a certain region, part of the Caribbean, if we couldn't get IPv6, because we want to be able to rotate and serve many parts of the community. So it's a very strong preference, but it's not required.
To sort of add on to that, John, if I could, one of the things that we do, especially for the Caribbean, is that we tunnel V6 back to the office. So you do have V6 in the meeting, it's just not coming native from the vendor.
And that gives Jeff Houston more things to study. Okay. Anyone else on that V6 requirement topic? Okay. Moving on to another topic, I'm going to take the remote first. Go ahead.
The remote is actually back to Owen's original
Go ahead.
Comment. Jason Schiller, Google ASOAC. I prefer a low $100 per year fee for the smallest end users and an optional added $500 fee for membership over a larger $500 a year end user fee with membership included.
Acknowledged. Farm microphone, new topic.
Yes, Joe Provo, Google, Aaron AC. If you put the election calendar slide up, the dates listed there for the NOM window don't seem to match what's at the URL. That's all.
All right, well, thank you. We'll take a look
We'll
at
get that. Thank you, Joe. Okay. Any other remote comments?
Brian Jones, enjoyed the introduction with the great pictures, smiley face.
Very good.
Yay.
Okay, thank you, Susan.
Thank you.